So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C Certified Brewhead, and welcome to another edition of Beer Mail here on BAOS. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, I got some bangers from my mates at Le Trèfle Noir out here in Quebec. I actually don't know how to pronounce the name of the area that they're from. Rouen, R-O-U-Y-N. Excuse my ignorance. Rouen, Noranda. So, you guys might remember we reviewed some Trèfle Noir beer briefly on a beer mail that me and Scotty did with L'Espace Public back in, I want to say, like April, May this year. Someone gave us a crowler of their stuff. Hadn't had any of their beers before, but I'd seen them around, so I was super excited. And I recently connected with a few of the Montreal reps from around here. I think they're from like 8 hours north of here, hence why I can't say the name. And they laced me with these bad boys, so I'm really looking forward to getting into them. So we have a decent variety of stuff here. First up is a gose called Gose Buster, and it's an Imperial gose, which I've never seen before, 6%. Very excited to try that one. We have Surrelevant, a wild ale conditioned in oak barrels, 7.5%. Oh, okay, and this is a barrel-aged version of another sour beer they have, so that sounds great. We've got a crowler, which is perfect, of Dark Vader, great name. Imperial Black IPA at 8.2%. It's been interesting. I've been in touch with the guys since like August. Right now I'm recording this in November. I wasn't able to pick this up until like we met in sometime, I want to say like October. And I haven't had a chance to get to it till now. And this was crowlered or canned on the 20th of August. So the boys said it was fine. I'm not super experienced with older crowlers, so I guess we'll find out. And lastly, this is the big dog. This is called... Wow. It's like the Russian acrylic things. I can't read it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Cherno Pivo. Chernoe, I think. It's a Imperial Stout. 8.7, aged in bourbon barrels, so that sounds bomb. I'm not actually sure if Trèfle Noir have a specific style that they like excel in, but what is one me and Scotty had? I think it was a black IPA with L'Espace Public, and that was bomb, so looking forward to it. Alright, bust out this Imperial Gose. That's definitely not a style I've had before. It's called Gose Buster. Great name again. There's like two great names, nice beer puns. I really do appreciate a good beer pun. Look at that, it's pouring really hazy. I guess sometimes goses can go either way. Ooh, bit of sediment, love that, love that. So this said it is 6% coriander, sea salt, and kaffir leaf. Oh, it's got the... I really appreciate this about the Trèfle Noir, by the way. They've got all of the translations on here, and that never happens on Quebec beer because they don't have to do it. Super rare, and that's why I'm like reading the French and trying to translate it, and then I look down and it's right there. I'm just not used to it. Very cool. Alright. Looking at that, nice straw color. Ooh, smells really fruity. Alright, get it in ya. Oh, that's sick. I love with goses when people go like balls deep with them shits, like actually put a ton of salt. It tastes like seawater, and as much as that doesn't really sound appealing, I just prefer it that way. I love this. This is fantastic. Creamy, hella salty, a little tart, tangy. I don't know if this can has a date or anything on it, if it makes a difference, but yo, this is great. I wonder if that kaffir leaf makes a difference. This is really fantastic. Yeah. Nice balanced tartness, super crushable, absolutely does not taste 6%, which is pretty solid. Great, man. I assume this is still around. I mean, they tried to link me in August, so perhaps this is more of a summer beer, but they come in the short cans, which is perfect for a nice 6% gose. Like, you can crush a couple of these, no dramas. So if you do see that one, definitely try. All right. The Wild Ale. Ugh. Forgot that opener. Bam, got that BrewHeads opener. Check the link in the description. You know what it is. Got that discount code. Only opener you'll ever need. Alright. Wild Ale aged in oak barrel. Ooh, it's a dark one. Yes. So I'm like hit or miss with the darker sours. Sometimes they're good, sometimes I don't really enjoy them. Just personal preference, really. So this one here, it's a barrel-aged version of Hurlevant. So this is Surlevant, and there's Hurlevant. Okay, I'm sure it sounds nicer in French. It's the same beer, but they age it in oak barrels with wide yeast strains and lactic bacteria. Limited product, it is 7.5%. This one was bottled on the 17th of April. It won gold at the Canadian Brewing Awards. Oh, when we were there last year. Get that in you. That's great. Well, I look forward to putting this in me, as the kids say. Oh, it smells super funky. Kind of smells like a Flanders Red, which I assume that's what it is because it kind of looks like it too. Cheers, get in you. Nice. Yeah, basically a Flanders Red. I don't know what the original beer is. Doesn't say. That's cool. All the characteristics of a Flanders Red that you would expect. Bit of caramel, quite malty. You can absolutely taste the oak barrels in there, which is a real nice sort of undercurrent. It's great. Yeah, super drinkable. Particularly for this style. Like sometimes these, like at least for me, I know some people love Flanders Reds. I'm certainly not one of those people, but I love sour beer. So this is hitting kind of a bunch of those notes right in there. Approachable. It's definitely not too boozy. It's got a bunch of those like funky tart elements as well that keep it interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like a little bitter almost. Solid, and it's cool because it's the you know now I need to try the OG version to see what kind of beer it is, what the difference is. All right, next one. Bam. All right, y'all. Next, we got the Crowler Dark Vader Imperial Black IPA, 8.2%. Canned on August 20th. It is now November 20-something. That's a solid 3 months. Oh, I got... Jeez. We actually did a podcast with Bench Brewery the other day in Toronto while we were in Ontario. And... shit. Alright, guys. Sorry, my bad. Had a bit of an accident there. Not a professional at pouring crowlers yet, so we filled her up. So what I was saying was, when we were at Bench talking about crowlers, that I was curious about the carbonation because I'd had crowlers in the past. If you remember the video with 12 West that we got from Phil, shouts to Phil from BrewHeads out in Arizona, they were about a month old, and I felt it wasn't at its peak. Like the beer definitely wasn't how the brewers intended it to be. So I'm not sure if that was due to the crowler or potentially due to how they filled the crowlers. I learned there's an additional few processes with, I'm going to get it wrong, but some sort of nitro, something like that, some chemical or some sort of shit like that where you blast it out, you blast all the oxygen out, and that makes a difference. So as you can tell with this one, this is like glorious. I was really worried about this beer, I'm not going to lie. Like I just really thought it wasn't going to be a fair review because the guys, are rocking with an older crowler, but this looks pretty dope. Smells like a black IPA, wicked big fluffy head. Get in you. Solid. That's sick. That makes me even happy that the crowler worked. This is super roasty, as expected. Quite bitter. It's got that tropical floral vibe going on. I describe this as almost like a little piney or a little dank. Now, I'm not sure if that's because it's 3 months old in a crowler type of situation. That means it's been sitting in its own juices for a while, and perhaps those sort of flavors have come through and the hops have dropped out. But that roasty, chocolatey malt is really, really strong up front. Super clean. Doesn't taste boozy, really, at all. Definitely not 8.2. It's got a bit of a bite to it. I'm not sure if that was the booze. It's not really hitting me like booze, but there's some sort of a bite going on. I like it. I think black IPAs are one of the most underrated styles. They do not get their love, same as black lagers as well. A huge favourite of mine, so I was looking forward to this one a lot. Plus, it had a cool name, and I have to learn how to pour crowlers better. All right, last beer. We have the stout that I couldn't pronounce. I think it's Cherno Pivo Imperial Stout. It's in the Cyrillic alphabet. It's got Russian things on there, so one would assume it's a Russian Imperial Stout, but it does not say that on the bottle. It's 8.7%. Strong alcohol, pleasant sweetness. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess we'll just see how we're going. I'm looking forward to this one. I actually thought, I think like I said earlier, that this was like a big boozy stout. But it's not that bad. 8.7. Because I have to drink this myself, usually I try to share the larger stouts when possible. But this is quite doable. Although I'll be drinking all of this tonight, this will keep me pretty damn busy. Look at that, they look glorious. If you compare, the colors of these two beers are actually looking pretty damn similar, which is pretty crazy. An Imperial IPA, a black IPA, and a Russian Imperial Stout. Not a ton of nose on there. Nice foamy, like pillowy head. Let's see how it goes. Get it in here. Nice. Light, I would call it like a lighter stout. Oh, it's aged in bourbon barrels, my bad. This is a limited edition as well, so it might be a different version of one of the other beers. Oh, La Cheneau Pivot. Okay, my bad. It actually says it on the side. Yeah, full body stout. It has mocha, oak, barley, hint of vanilla. Yeah, this is really chill. Super, super roasty, bitter. Smooth, a little creamy. The bourbon, I'm not getting a ton of bourbon. Maybe as it warms up. Now, to be fair, these have been in the fridge for some time, but it's not like really cold or anything. Which I try and keep stouts at a little bit of a higher temperature, of course, as you know, as expected. This is supposed to be served at 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. This is super crushable, man. No, that's not true at all. It's not crushable, but it's very easy drinking. Some might say drinkable. Yeah, this is really approachable, man. You can tell it's not a crazy sort of stout. We're actually holding it here with the light. I can sort of see through it a tiny little bit. It's not that black as tar kind of vibe. So it's definitely like a little lighter on the palate, I guess is what I'm saying. It's drinkable. It's not so heavy where every sip is like not a chore, but it's like you're really aware of it. You could casually sip this and, you know, knock this back a lot faster than you'd anticipate. So 4 really good beers, guys. I'm super impressed with Trèfle Noir. Like, every beer I've had from them have been legitimately fantastic. In the break between the two beers, I found out that the original beer of the Surrelevant, which is called the Herrelevant, is actually a Belgian double, which would explain why the soured version has the color that it has and comes across as somewhat a Flanders red. So figure that out before having to leave that in the comments. So guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, man, boom, smash the thumbs up. Hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell, Tiffany, so you know when the new drops. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast, and check out the long form audio. We've got some great interviews. I don't know when this will drop, but we've been doing some stuff with wrapping up the Colorado stuff. We're moving into some Ontario stuff. We got into some of that in November this month now. We have a bunch of Quebec stuff planned for the remainder of the year and early next year. So we're all over the place as always. Some great stuff. Follow us on Spotify and review, rate, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. That's it, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. And as always, get in ya.